Hello, good whatever it is, and hello and welcome to the News Burst Live special. I'm Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, and this is the Full Force podcast, of course, brought to you by General Joe's REBORN.com. Now, a couple of things. I should say, obviously, it's a bit early in the US right now, so apologies for that. You'll just have to catch it on the replay, most of you guys. Who have we got in the comments already? Rexship85. Even earlier at 5:30 a.m. You're up this early? Impressive, impressive. Anyway, thanks for joining. It's so early right now for you guys in the US. East Coast is like what? Yeah, 5:30 something. And then even if you go all the way to the West Coast, it's even earlier. So yeah, apologies for this. But got lots of stuff to really get into. I couldn't get into it yesterday. I was out. But we've got a lot of kind of news kind of like flooding in. So I wanted to 2:30, Sam. Why are you even still up? Or have you not been to sleep yet? Impressive work. Shark Eyes in Melbourne. Okay, so you're in Australia, so that's fine. It's like normal time for you, right? It's like 6 weeks ago or 6 weeks ahead. I don't know what the situation is. Getting ready for work at 5:30 a.m. Rexship. That's a hustle. Great way to start the workday, says Michael. I can't believe there are actually people watching this right now in the US. That's impressive stuff. Anyway, a number of stories kind of popped up yesterday. Like I said, I couldn't go live yesterday. I was busy. I was at In Demand Toys again, and then I was seeing a friend I hadn't seen in ages in Sheringham. So shout out to Pewey. Anyway, we've got a bunch of kind of images, I guess, to look at and check out. We have PulseCon exclusive kind of promotional images, official promotional images. Got the email from Hasbro yesterday. And and of course we've got in-hand images of Shadow Tracker to check out, and then a little kind of bit of news from Icon Heroes as well, as they've reissued a pin set. Yeah, it's not all, it's not all class A classified information. Some got to get the belt buckles and all that good stuff in there as well. Hello, Anything Joe's. Good morning. Wow, how early is it for you right now? That's crazy. And you're in the future over there, aren't you, Shark Eyes? Yeah, absolutely. Well, anyway, let's get stuck into it because we've got lots to discuss and talk about, haven't we? Yes. Let's start with. Well, actually, I don't know what's on the. I think we're going to start with Pulse. Yes. So, like I said before, we've got the Crimson Strike team promotional images to kind of discuss, and then we've got some in-hand images of Shadow Tracker and the Mole Rats, and then, like I said, a bit of Icon Heroes at the end as well to kind of throw in there. Also today, I'm planning on doing another unboxing, so it looks like I'll be doing the Crimson Viper and Desert Commando Snake Eyes, probably a little bit later in the day, and that will be a little bit better, I think, for our United States friends. Right, so because I'm in the UK at the moment, if people weren't aware. So let's start then. The promotional images were sent out by Hasbro yesterday, and we got a truckload of cool images to check out. So obviously and this is the thing as well, like we've seen this set like already. We've seen it in hand. We've seen it, like some people have seen it in person at SDCC. So these are really just the kind of additional kind of cherry on the top for those that haven't been able to see this set firsthand. Excuse me. Excuse me. And like I said, we've got images of the packaging, we've got images of the figures on white background, and we've got product images, which we will have a little discussion about, because it looks like we have returned to the Cobra Island kind of diorama, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Like we haven't seen that. I thought that would have been like retired at this stage, but it looks like we've kind of come back to kind of get into that particular, because they did say that obviously Chuckles, his narrative is on Cobra Island. So obviously the fact that the Chuckles and this set sort of have a narrative connection means that we're kind of staying on Cobra Island. But what is interesting here is that it's like I said, it's the Cobra Island diorama that we have kind of like gone back to. And if you remember way back in the day, we saw it with Beachhead, with Baroness, funnily enough, with the Cobra Trooper, with who else was involved in that set or that kind of set of figures? Oh, Heavy Duty. I'm kidding. Roadblock version 2 in the classified series, but technically a new version of Roadblock completely. Them MFers, says Jonathan Butler. Holy dear Lord, wow, thank you. Yes, thank you from your friends in the United States for all you do. Full force, says Andy. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that very much. Sorry, it's so early, by the way. Also, do you like how the light keeps changing? Because I'm utilizing natural light, and when that natural light goes behind a cloud, my lamp, which is kind of like yellow color, changes the color of my face completely. Anyway, I'm going to be like Zartan the whole time, just changing skin color, if that's cool with you. And not in a horribly cancelled racist way either. What we've got, we're both glasses options there before. Either way, great way to have a classic or modern look to a wreck ship. She has removable glasses, 2 pairs in fact, so you can switch those around in whatever format you want. So the glasses are separate. There's 2 pairs of them, and she's got 3 heads. But yeah, let's talk about the set first. So we've got the Extensive Enterprises kind of like silver box. This is the front of said box with Crimson Strike Team and Extensive Enterprises. It's very much like this kind of like, kind of armored briefcase sort of situation with, I guess, a laptop inside as well. But anyway, this is pretty cool. Andy says heavy duty. That's what I call the second Robot 2. Yes, be like Zartan. It's not too early. Anyway, that's the front of the box. Again, nice kind of cool idea to make it like this armored briefcase sort of scenario or armored laptop. I quite like that. I think it's pretty cool. For me, though, it's kind of like the inside, but this is the back. This is the Cobra logo and all of the kind of legal gumph that they have to print on it as well. Again, pretty straightforward, pretty cool, pretty interesting. Not a lot going on in the exterior, but again, I like the level that they go to with these kind of like premium packages. And I would probably also say I haven't seen this in real life, but obviously we have had images of it, with in like at SDCC, and obviously those people that saw it firsthand, you'll have to let me know if there's like lots of nice kind of different, not detail, but like, are certain elements like raised? Is there like different material kind of like texture on it and stuff like that? Like other shiny bits I'm looking at, they're quite, very much like embossed, as it were. It appears that way. But yeah, you guys can let me know. Oh, Paddy Lennon on the show. Gonna say it now. Classified Shadow Tracker is a disappointment. The POC version is the top 10 Joe Fig. This waters down the cool factor hugely. Well, we'll talk about that later, Paddy, because I have to say I disagree. Not for the first time. We do often have different opinions on these things. I kind of feel like it's an improvement, because I think that, well, we'll get to Shadow Tracker and we'll come back to this conversation, I guess, when we get to it. Rexship85 says, Emily mentioned on Instagram that there's some secrets with the packaging that haven't been shown off yet, and I think she said they will show them at PulseCon. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Rexship85. Yeah, Emily has posted this, as has Lenny and the rest of the team on their Instagram pages. And yes, Emily did have that little bit of extra information to kind of like explain. I don't know what it is. I think that's quite a fun little addition if they are going to show some new stuff off with the packaging. I can't wait. It seems like Hasbro Pulse is trying to keep up with Super 7 Ultimates. I love it, though, referring to Baroness accessories in comparison. Yeah, we'll let's get to all of that stuff as well. Good morning, Flaffle. Thank you, Andy. Does the megahertz numbers on this and Chuckles box mean anything, says Detective Dirty? Yes, it's like basically they're connected, aren't they? It's like they're having almost like a not Zoom, but you know what I mean, like a conference call almost. So I guess that is the connection. Hasbro is trying to get the rights to Heavy Duty. I don't think they're trying, Jonathan. They've got the trademark. There's no, they already own it. Like they've literally, that was the story a while back, is that they applied for the trademark for Heavy Duty, but I believe that they've secured that trademark. So yeah. We will be getting. Well, I imagine we'll be getting a heavy duty at some point in the line, which would be great, wouldn't it? I'd love to see that figure in there. Anyway, that's the packaging exterior. Then once you kind of remove that kind of, I'm guessing. I don't know if that is a sleeve. I think that's a sleeve. I want to say the silver kind of thing on the outside is a sleeve, and then obviously you've got the box inside, which opens up like so. And here you've got that kind of like Zoom call that's going on with Chuckles. You can see them in him in the bottom right hand corner, and you can see them all like yelling at the screen and everything. It's actually really cool artwork, is it not? It looks pretty amazing, and I love all like the kind of the Cobra logos and electronics and stuff like that on the side. Very nice, and it's a really nice like layout for the figures as well. Rudy says, "Oh, I quite like two opposing different opinions in a figure from passionate collectors. Paddy versus Chris, round one. Lol." We'll get to that in a bit, Rudy. Definitely. Have fun at work, Rexship. Stay fresh, cheese bag. Yes, and so this is, again, I really like the extra level they've gone to with this 3-pack, because it could be one of those things where it's just a repaint set and then it's like, okay, great, but the fact we've got new elements with the Baroness in there, effectively getting a new Baroness too, like, she looks phenomenal. And I would imagine that we'd probably get this figure again in multiple different ways. So I could see them doing another, like a return to the Baroness again, but in this style, in all black. I could see them doing that, even though we've got like about 20 Baronesses in black now. Well, 3, I think. What was the first one? The retro one and the movie one. Are there any more Baroness? Baron I guess it's this one, isn't it? So 4 overall now. Okay, then of course we get, the head sculpt's great, isn't it? We'll get. Let's have a look at all of that stuff now. So this is the loadout that everyone gets. We've got the Crimson Twins, who are effectively being given their kind of submachine guns in gold with the red silencers or suppressors, whatever you want to call them, and the 2 kind of like gold handled knives. That's effectively what they're, obviously not in that color scheme, but that's effectively what those figures had in their original release. And then the Baroness is just like covered in accessories. It's like she gets a slightly different kind of build. She gets updated elements on the figure. Obviously, she gets new head sculpts, 3, and a hairpiece that kind of can transplant to each head, no issues. 2 sets of different shaped glasses, kind of like the thinner, long, elongated ones and the kind of more round style ones. 2 hairpieces, in actual fact, sorry, not just 1 hairpiece, but 2 removable hairpieces. So there are multiple ways you can utilize you can have the Baroness displayed, which is great. Isn't this same picture of the Strike Force on the Chuckles packaging? Yes, Jonathan. Yeah, it's like that's where the connection is. They're having like a Zoom call. Or they're not like, it's not like a meeting, but they're connected that way because he's stolen something from them, and he's opened it, and obviously there's a 2-way kind of like visual going on. I'm sure they'll explain it in more detail during PulseCon, but that's effectively what you're looking at there. And also there'll be descriptive text and stuff as well on both. On this figure, and then you can line it up with the Chuckles one and see how the narrative operates, I guess. Blue Baroness, please. Green glasses. Flaffle, I think that's a possibility, isn't it? With this version, you do a blue version of that Baroness, give her green tints in the glasses, and superb, next level. Anyway, she also comes with that classic like Cobra laser thing, which I thought was a great addition to the Cobra Island Baroness. I loved that. I thought it was so cool. And obviously that returns with this figure. She also gets like loads of weapons. She gets 2 Uzis with is that 1 suppressor? Or do you think there are, I suppose there are 2 suppressors, but they can I think they can be moved around depending on what weapons loadout she has, because they also fit on those blasters as well, by the looks of things. I'm not sure if it's like 1 suppressor per set of weapons, per set of like double weapons, but again, she can only really be using 2 at a time anyway. So I guess maybe it's just the 2 suppressors for the Baroness, and then those 2 like chunky like machete, like fancy machete blades as well, which is pretty cool. And of course the gold figure stands, which are quite nice too, with their names on them this time. Yeah, love that. I think this is a nice way to do some repaints. It gets another use out of the Crimson Twins, which I think is really only the only really repaint you can do with those figures. I can't think of anything else you could really do with them other than like, you know, it really is just that, because the ones we've got, they are effectively you know, retro style, sunbow style. I mean, that's their color scheme. So, you know, that's the only one I could really think of them doing, other than maybe kind of introducing maybe all three of these characters into Python Patrol would be the only other thing I could see them doing. But I think, I don't know, I think like maybe well, yeah, business suit Jonathan isn't a repaint, but I get what you're saying. Obviously reuse the heads in that sense. I think in terms of this build, this figure build in general, I feel like this is the only real repaint you can kind of do with them. And maybe just the one repaint works for that, because it's not, you know, the figure's so unique, the design is so unique that it's not like you can really reuse a lot of parts. Maybe the arms, but you're not really going to utilize maybe the torso, but I don't know. You're not obviously not going to reuse the secondary. That is specifically Crimson Twins. The waist piece is specifically Crimson Twins, and the legs really as well. So, but yes, in terms of other versions of the twins, Jonathan, business suit 100% would be great, and then you can reutilize the heads. Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I'd love to see business suit Crimson Twins, and I think that's something we will see in the future as well. Yeah, in any case, let's keep looking at these images. Of course, here we've got them like geared up, and as you can see, the Baroness has got her kind of pistols in the back, you know, secondary kind of holsters on her back there, which again is exactly the same as that for the first version of her, which is really cool that they've continued that and kind of incorporated that in. And again, you can see the suppressor on the Uzi as well, and the machete. And they've given her the face mask head sculpt on this one. And I think someone noted as well, it's funny they didn't push the hair down on it like all the way. You can kind of almost see the join a little bit there where the hair joins onto the head. But yeah, that probably, I imagine that won't be an issue, and it's just an error in the photography. But they look great. And yeah, I'm really digging that Baroness. I think that kind of face mask thing looks really intimidating and kind of makes it quite an interesting addition to her, to give her a little bit of like, you know, face protection, shall we say. Rudy says this comes across as lavish, obviously in a good way. Lots of possibilities for posing across all three. Absolutely. I think especially with the Baroness, you've got so many different options to kind of like go with there. The twins not as much, obviously, but again, I do like the thought of the repaints and these figures being reused again, because they're actually it's a pretty solid couple of figures, Tomax and Zaymar, like heavily vintage inspired. But you know, what else are you going to do? You're not really going to redesign the twins in this format, are you? Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of glad that we've got Crimson Twins in there, kind of like classic aesthetic. Paddy, are you still on? Because I know you're not a massive fan of the twins. Let us know your thoughts, please, because it's always funny chatting to you about them. Anyway, next image we've got a back shot. We've got butts. Let's check out their butts. We've all seen it. We know what the figures are going to look like from the back, but it's a good way of seeing Baroness's hair, I guess. It's not like, you know, like the Cobra Island one, and of course the retro version. The hair is very like, you know, straight at the back, and is like very like you know, like very specifically angled and cut at a certain like exact square kind of thing. So it is a bit, I don't know, it's a little bit weird, but this one definitely is more flowing. It's kind of moving in more of a natural way over the back, and kind of coming to a different kind of point in a more like, you know, methodical way. You know, that they've kind of given her a bit more thought in the hair there, I think. But yeah, really cool and looks awesome. Let's check out their butts. And then we get the actual Cobra Island diorama promo images. Now, effectively, the Cobra Island diorama, as I've described it previously just there, it was used for the Cobra Island Target exclusive figures. So we had the Baroness and her motorcycle, the coil cycle. We had Beachhead. We had the Cobra Troopers, and we had Cobra Island Roadblock utilized on that background. And effectively, it's just like the interior image in some of the boxes where they had the kind of Cobra Island looking ground level across the water to, like the kind of like coast with some of the elements of Cobra Island on there, including a very wicked looking kind of HQ sort of thing. And of course, like morays as well on the water. I think there's one there in that shot near just under her pistol. But yeah, we'll have there are obviously way more images to check out, but I think she looks great there with that wavy hair. So this is the alternate hair piece that kind of flows and looks great. I think this is very reminiscent of her card art. I think, you look on the card art, that original Baroness card art, and Garrido definitely had that kind of like flowing hair thing going on. So I think she looks phenomenal. Love this head sculpt. Those are the round glasses as well. It's that version, and she's got her snake laser pistol thing as well, which is pretty cool. Again, that looks like it's obviously got a few more elements of deco on it as well, which is great. Someone's doing the lawn outside. Can you hear that? It's not as bad as the jet fighter that was flying over the other day. A Typhoon, beautiful, very distinct shape. It's like two triangles. It's like one small triangle and one, because obviously got those little fins on the front. Anyway, bar the that's not really what we're talking about right now, but it was very loud, and I'm surprised no one heard it, honestly. Figure six pack. That's a good point. Rather keep the Target motorcycle for this Baroness. Well, it's a color match, isn't it? Like, it would probably make more sense color wise. Yeah, I've still got that. I've still got that motorcycle on display. I have to have I think I've got all of my classified figures out in some way or shape or form. They're either on a display on like a IKEA bookshelf, or they're on my desk and just I'm surrounded by them. So yeah, it's getting to the point where we're going to need a new display for this stuff, but hopefully that'll be really soon. Anyway, next image, we have again the flowing hair, this time with the mask, and she's running. So this is great for display, I think. Great for displaying these kind of like figures in dynamic poses. You got a little shot of the twins in the background as well now. Also, shout out to Shooting the Galaxy, who is going to be is going to be there during PulseCon as a special guest. So awesome stuff. And also massive shout out to Thew and Toy Galaxy Dan Larson, who are going to be like hosting, which is amazing stuff. So again, like, love Thew, love Dan. Saw Dan recently, actually, just before I flew out to the UK. So yeah, good luck, Dan, if you're watching or if you do see this. I hope you have a great show. And Thew as well, another person I'm genuinely I know from going to TF Nation for many moons. So yeah, brilliant that those guys are doing great stuff, and I'm really like proud of them for getting to do and jealous, of course, of getting to do the Hasbro stuff. It's awesome stuff. Anyway, next up we have this shot again with still with the kind of battle mask, this time with the regular hairpiece, so it's not flowing, but she's got two automatic, like kind of like MP5s. In fact, those are the twins ones, aren't they? They switch the weapons around. So yeah, there you go. I guess you can mess around with them and have them doing different things, I guess. So the twins have got her Uzis, and she's nicked the twins MP5s. But you can you can do that. It doesn't matter. No one owns one particular weapon, I don't think. Hello, Cully. Happy Wednesday to you, buddy. Yeah, so again, you can see the Cobra Island dio in the background, or the image in the background, with the rock diorama that they utilized before. Starting to kind of like get a little bit more familiar now in some of these shots. And then we got the Baroness with, I think they're the different glasses. And yeah, so and she's just got a pistol out on that one with her suppressor on it. And yeah, another nice shot of the Baroness again, seeing those different like utilizing all those different display options, which is really cool. And this is a nice one as well. No glasses, the glasses are off, and yeah, and cool. I like this one too. It kind of looks like she's biting her lip, but I think that's just the lighting. It does look like she's going like that, which is kind of cool. Be cool, actually. It'd be pretty cool to have a head sculpt like that. Yeah, again, I kind of get a good look here at some of the textures on that figure, some of the kind of like different colors, because it's like obviously a metallic red on the body armor and then more muted, darker red on the rest of the figure, which I think is pretty cool. Like it's nice to have that kind of, different paint uh, textures and elements on those kind of figures. Yeah, right. What else? Oh, then of course we got the classic, the balancing act, the circus act that are the twins. I want to know how he balanced these. Although there's a very similar image of the two of them when the original classified Tomax and Zaymot came out. Um, uh, Rudy says, since you're in the UK, have you had the chance to snack on a Tunnocks caramel wafer now you are back? I haven't, but I'm probably going to have to do that now just because you said it. That's hilarious. And again, you can see what I like about this shot is obviously you can see the moires quite clearly now. We can also see that mental, like, kind of HQ style building in the background on Cobra Island within the classified narrative, though, of course. But yeah, I love this pose. And again, they did the similar thing with these two figures. And I love how they're holding the knives in one hand each there as well. That's a really cool little thing. But yeah, very, very circus performery. And I think that's what Paddy had an issue with the twins back in the day. Yeah. But anyway, Paddy, I don't want to talk for you. Let us know. Thank you, Cully. Well, it's good to be home, mate. I have been enjoying the family time. Thank you very much. I am here. I'm in the UK. I am. Yeah, crazy, innit? I should have said something. It's been rather busy so far, though. But yeah, we'll see. I'll go back on the 19th, so maybe we can try and do something. I don't know. We'll see if we'll figure something out after the show. Also, we've got this shot of the three of them, all with the blades this time, which is pretty dope. And I'm not sure if we've got any more images. I think that might be it for the Crimson Strike team. But again, I'd like this 3-pack more and more, seeing it like this. Yeah, you felt a disturbance in the force, did you? Yeah, so like I like this set of figures. I think they've done a really good job with what is effectively like a repaint set with some elements of new tooling. And yeah, I think they've really made a cool Baroness here that I think a lot of people will probably prefer over the first one. And I do like that first Baroness figure, but this is definitely, I've seen a lot of positivity about, especially about the head sculpts on this new Baroness. But yeah, anyway, that I believe is that for the PulseCon images. No, it's not. There's more. Okay, so that's good. Oh well, yeah. Again, they're just different images now, aren't they? That's all that we're looking at. Maybe there are more, but we have got more to talk about today. Yes, thanks to, I believe it was. I'm going to look it up. Images shared by Bretley Brett on Instagram, in-hand shadow tracker images and mole rats as well. So this was kind of like a very interesting kind of like in hand, not shocking obviously because we've seen the packaging images for it, so it's only a matter of time before we saw the actual figure. Now what they show is the figure with what I have been informed are 3 different mask attachments, but it could be that one of those is the main head, but I was also under the impression that he had a head sculpt. So we'll find out, I guess, closer to the time. And obviously, it's only next week away before we probably get this full reveal anyway. So we'll find out sooner rather than later. And I imagine more images, more loose images, will kind of emerge as the week goes on. So I'll try and keep an eye on the socials for any of those kind of updates. But effectively, we've got the kind of like the see-through mask here, which is pretty cool. Now, the thing that Paddy was kind of talking about was that he thought that. Let me see if I can get that comment back again. I didn't tag it, but there it is. He said that the POC version, or the Pursuit of Cobra version, is a top 10 Joe figure for him. And he says this waters down the cool factor hugely. And I sort of like, I get what you're saying, Paddy, but I have to say that the Pursuit of Cobra figure, even though it was like, a new character and had loads of like cool accessories, there were a few, I thought, kind of like downsides to it. Like the bulky gear, I don't know if like some of it didn't feel like 100% like, I don't know, like proportionally on point for me. It's a cool figure, don't get me wrong, and Pursuit of Cobra is a general high point is often referred to as kind of like the peak of 4-inch figures. But what I like about this version, and like I said, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that I have a different opinion on this one, Paddy, from a personal perspective, is that this one is kind of like more not even practical, but like more interesting for me. Like I like the elements, the kind of additional elements, like the little bone kind of like almost like blow dart things he's got on his wrist. I like all of the different like touches on like the little kind of necklace with the bones and the bone on the belt. And I like that secondary. That secondary seems a little bit more breathable, a bit movable. He looks quite significantly kind of stocky. I love that shoulder piece with the skull on it. It looks intimidating and menacing. And I kind of like the weapons. He's got like the axe hooks onto the side there as well. I don't know. I'm feeling this one, and the knife on the back too, which I've just noticed, kind of hanging out there on the back. I'm not sure if that's tucked under the what's it called, the quiver, or if it actually does slot in the back there. I'm sure it probably does have a space that it goes into. But I'm really feeling that, and I really like how this figure looks, even though these images aren't like pristine, and we'll see that more as we look through the others. It's still like a fairly good approximation of what I expect to see. I think he looks great. And in fact, actual fact, I think these in-hand images look even better than the digital render did. I was probably on your side in thinking that, Paddy, initially, when I first saw the render, I think I was definitely more on board with the original Pursuit of Cobra version. But having seen this figure now in like as a render on the box art, and of course this, and I mean like the front render, not the back render, because that's effectively the same render as the render. Stop saying render. But the kind of front box art render and these images, I'm kind of like, oh, I like it. I like the kind of, again, there are a lot of new elements. Yes, it utilizes parts of Zartan, I want to say, like the legs, and I'm guessing the body and the arm, some of the arm elements are probably reuse. But what else are you going to do? Like, obviously, the whole point of the line is to have those kind of secondary elements that change the figure completely, and it kind of makes a lot of sense to do that. And reutilize base body parts, because you're talking about effectively just human being, legs and arms, aren't you? It's like not. I don't have an issue with reuse at all. Like, it makes sense, and obviously they do so much to the figures that you don't necessarily recognize when certain things have been reutilized, unless it's a kind of full-on repaint of the same character. So I kind of like what they've done so far. And this figure is definitely up there. Now, we also get the kind of like, is it like a goat mask or something like that? Or goat skull? Some sort of like animal skull, isn't it? And it's freaking dark. But this again is a interesting look. And again, lots of different options here for display in much the same way as the Baroness. The hair looks cool, but I will probably agree that I like the fact that it was a little bit more wayward, a little bit more unruly on the Pursuit of Cobra figure. I like that it was kind of a bit bigger. This one is kind of like almost like, like ponytailed up and kind of like subdued a little bit. But again, kind of looks cool with like the one dreadlock kind of hanging down on the side and everything. I think it looks really interesting and really fun. And I love that, you know, we've got kind of like another new style or a new version of this figure. Oh, some type of big cat skull, maybe a leopard, says Jonathan. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It does look like a big cat, actually, doesn't it? Now that you say that, yeah, a goat's skull would be pretty small, actually, as well, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's probably a big cat of some description that he's hunted, harshly enough. Yeah, so awesome. And then we've got another shot. This terrifying mask. Now, a few people have been saying that this is probably their head sculpt and that the other masks go over the top of this. And I mean, it's a possibility. If you look on this image here, can you see anything underneath? I think you can see the teeth, actually, of that. So that might be the base head, base in the place London. And these two might just be masks that cover it. And it's pretty cool to actually put that see-through one over that one. That's pretty cool, actually. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if that comes off too. Wouldn't surprise me. But we will see. We'll have more information about that, obviously. Well, next week, when PulseCon happens. Now, while we're here, and I have most of you, I'll obviously make a bigger announcement later. But it looks like we won't be doing the weekly on Friday. Don't worry, I'm still doing loads of episodes. We're still doing a ton of unboxings. We're going to be doing news bursts and all that good stuff. But and a few Intel episodes for the patrons as well. But in terms of the weekly, I don't think we're going to be able to do it on Friday because I'm not going to be available. Because obviously, you know, seeing lots of people, it's hard to fit everyone in around the schedule. So unfortunately, you know, I'm only here. I haven't been home for 4 years, so we might have to postpone the Friday weekly. But obviously, next week on the 22nd is the GI Joe PulseCon segment. So I imagine that we will go live on the Friday at 1, which will be like about an hour following the GI Joe kind of news. So effectively, the weekly will be my reaction to PulseCon is effectively what that will be. So that will be the weekly next week. Like I said, we won't be doing it this Friday, but don't worry, I'll still be churning out content left, right, and center as much as I can. So we'll still hopefully satiate your full force viewing. Rudy says, when I saw this, I just thought whoever designed it must have had so much fun, and there's probably some even more darker initial sketches too. Very likely. I'd love to get Lenny on a show in the future where he can talk about some of the concept stuff that went into some of this, you know, some of these characters. I'm sure like there's some sort of thing that prevents that from being shown off until like much later. But you never know. He might be able to kind of like release some fun images of the work he did on the lead up to some of these characters, and that would be really cool to see. I think, you know, I think it'd be a really cool marketing thing actually for them to kind of utilize, or just get them on the show and show off images during interviews and stuff. That'd be really wicked. Anyway, Shadow Tracker I think looks phenomenal in all those different display options. Like I said, we've got this kind of like, and it does look like that third mask, this one, is underneath this see-through one. So it's very likely that that's the base, and then these two are that. Also, we've obviously on the render, I'm just trying to figure out what, I'm trying to think what, on the original render, what the, if I can think for a second, what the base, what the default head was, what that looked like. The thing is, I can't access this very easily at this particular moment in time. But obviously we've had, I'm just trying to think, I'm just looking through the images of what I've posted, because I'm sure I would have posted the render for Shadow Tracker at some point. In any case, I think it was that head, was it? Or was the default render the see-through kind of one? Why don't I just look at those images we posted of the box. Yeah, because that'll show us. And again, this is great for radio, me umming and erring while I'm looking at this stuff. And it was only recently, there it is. Yeah, this is the base, like, this is the head that you see on the render, the digital render. So it's likely that this is the base head sculpt, and the other two are just masks that go over it, which is, a fair assumption. Like I said, it's, when you look at the original render, it is that mask that is the kind of base, looks like the base head, which is dark, man. That's really dark. I was under the impression, I must admit, that they were all masks and there was maybe a cheeky head sculpt underneath. But it looks likely that is actually what we're talking about now, is with this being the base head, is the case. Right. Okay, cool. We also got images, or Brett gave us images of the mole rats in hand. And I think we've seen the mole rats quite a few images of the mole rats already, but it's nice to get these kind of in hand ones as well. Not the best quality. So like the shadow tracker images were a little clearer. The mole rats ones, again, a little bit kind of blurry, but again, you get the idea. I'm really excited for these characters. It's like Shadow Tracker is like a very newish character that's only ever had one version of a figure, and it was late in the line. It was in Pursuit of Cobra. So it's cool that we're getting another version of that character, so it feels fresh. And we've got a brand new character here in Mole Rats, which is amazing. And then, effectively a new version of Shooter completely. And trying to think who else is in the Night Force. Big Ben and Range Viper. Again, like Range Viper, very cool. Hardly I mean, yes, there were repaints and sort of reuses a little bit throughout the years, but not a lot. It's not like the Range Viper was utilized a lot. And Big Ben, of course, yes, he's had quite a few different like iterations in the vintage, especially with that kind of mail away set, and kind of like the Arctic version. So there's definitely been some kind of cool like different versions of Big Ben. Effectively, the Night Force one is kind of another new version of him, because it doesn't really follow directly the original deco. So yeah, the Night Force exclusives seem to be a good place for very like new concepts, basically, new characters, new concepts of existing characters, or characters that haven't really been utilized in a huge amount or a huge way. Did the stream drop, says Hydrus? I don't know. Did it? Have you lost me? Apologies if you have. Let me know if you can still hear me, guys. Okay, good. Sorry, Hydrus, if it did drop. My apologies if you're having trouble your end. But yeah, like I was saying, the Walmart line seems to be a way of it seems to be a way of introducing new concepts, which is actually quite a cool little avenue to kind of start experimenting with. Wolf Spider's another one, brand new character. I know there was a slightly different like story behind that figure, and then it was going to be a a generic troop builder for Night Force, but when they finished the kind of design and everything, it was like, this needs a name, this needs a character name. So it kind of had like an interesting introduction into the line, and you never know, like, it's a Night Force figure, so we might get Wolf Spider kind of rethought deco wise, at least, and maybe with a head sculpt, or like an actual like unmasked head sculpt, to get like an actual character behind the figure, in the future, with a different deco, because obviously this Wolf Spider is in Night Force. I'm trying to think if there are any other characters that I've completely forgotten about in the Walmart Night Force series so far, but I don't think so. And then again, hopefully we'll start seeing some Night Force specific characters. Oh, the Crimson Alley Viper is another one, isn't it? Again, that's Pursuit of Cobra related. So, you're definitely getting some Pursuit of Cobra influence in the Night Force as well, which is pretty cool. I say the Night Force, it's not really, the Cobra characters aren't Night Force, but they are obviously paired with Night Force characters. Will they use this body to make classified airtight? That's not a bad shout. I don't think I wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility, would it? And I could see it working quite well. Definitely. And obviously different head sculpts and so much, and so, yeah, but 100%. Thanks, Mark. Take care, buddy. Have a good day. Yeah, so that's the mole rat. There's a few more. There's obviously the unmasked there, so you can see that crazy head sculpt and some of the accessories as well. The kind of what I thought was a lantern is actually some sort of canister to carry dark energy on. Jonathan says seems like cesspool is coming. That would be amazing. I'd be all over that. I love the drill he comes with as well on this mole rat. Really cool. Again, so much awesome about this new, troop builder in the Joes. Very cool indeed. And of course, there's a double shot of two different mole rats with the two different kind of gear setups and display options. Very, very awesome. So thanks to Bretley Brett for posting those images in hand. Yeah. Now, other things I wanted to talk about. I'm going to be doing a PulseCon preview live video as well. So I'm going to kind of switch gears with the PulseCon preview video. That's going to be live, and I don't know, might happen today, it might happen tomorrow, but I definitely want to do that as well in terms of content. Maybe I do that tomorrow. Yeah, I think we'll do that tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. I think I'm free in the evening. So yeah, I'll probably do the PulseCon preview tomorrow, with another unboxing in the morning, of course. And like I said, I'm doing an unboxing later today, so lots more content to come. I'm not even sure if I'll be able to get through everything unboxing wise, but then obviously we've got the weekend, so I might be able to squeeze some in there too. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I really want to get to Tripwire though. It kind of feels weird not to really get into that figure at this moment in time. Yeah, anyway, those are the images of all of that good stuff. Who are we unboxing next? It's going to be Crimson Viper and Snake Eye, Desert Snake Eyes, and that'll be later today. Hopefully when more American viewers have American viewers arise. Yeah, cool. So that's that. And then we've also got another little bit of news from Icon Heroes. They are reissuing their Cold Slither pin set with different artwork, different packaging, which is pretty neat. So the post says, get ready to rock with the G.I. Joe Cold Slither. You'll be joining us pins box set, a reissue of our popular sold out We Are Cold Slither pin set featuring stunning new artwork by the talented Lee Kosa, who did the original. He did the first packaging art as well, which are really cool. Each limited edition hard enamel pin is individually numbered, making it a true collector's gem. But that's not all. This box set also includes a vinyl record style backer card, an 8x8 print, and a beautifully designed box to showcase your prized possession. Inspired by the iconic Cold Slither episode where Zartan and the Dreadnoks brainwash listeners with subliminal messages through music, this one-of-a-kind item will take your collection to the next level. Sort of like what I do with the Full Force. Subliminal messages is what I do. I just pump it into you guys. Kitty said, don't miss out on joining the ranks of true G.I. Joe enthusiasts. Grab your Cold Slither pins box set today. Annoyingly, I haven't put the link in the description, but it's on our Facebook page, and I'll probably put it in there afterwards as well, so you can actually access that. But yeah, very nice stuff. And I do like what they've done with the artwork again. Again, Lee Kosa has done a phenomenal job here. I love that they're all riding a keytar. There's something very perfect about that. It looks like you've got some sort of Cobra castle in the background as well. It looks amazing in the mountains, and they're flying the keytar. Very heavy metal. I love it. Very 80s hair metal. Yes, figure six pack. Absolutely. And then you've got Ripper, Buzzer, and Torch all behind Zartan there, who's basically riding. It looks like a motorcycle keytar that's flying. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it, really? Brilliant stuff. And of course, it's the same pin set on the record. I believe is the record. I want to say the record's slightly different. I'm just going to have a quick look at the original on Icon Heroes page, because I think there might be a slightly different color on the actual record itself. I might be wrong, but this is why I'm checking. This is why I'm looking. And wow, they've released a lot of stuff. When was it, guys? Here it was, I think. No, nearly there. Again, great for radio, this, isn't it? Me just scrolling through images on Facebook, not paying attention to what I'm actually doing on screen. I thought they'd posted images of those on their Facebook page. They must have done, but they post so much stuff. Maybe it's just been that long. Um, I want to say that the record kind of color or sticker in the middle might be slightly different, but the pins are exactly the same. They're not changed in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, the packaging is obviously, completely different with the artwork and the print and all that kind of stuff. But why can I not find this? Okay, just typical McLeod. Whenever he needs to find something, just not happening. Anyway, I'll have a look to see if I can see a difference on there, but at the moment I don't believe there is. Certainly isn't a difference on the pins themselves. I'll say that much, but I can't believe they don't have this in their images. It just seems weird that they haven't got them on their website, on their Facebook page. Oh, there it is. Yes, it is a different color. So the original SDCC one had like an orange sticker in the middle. And oh, thanks, Mark. I should have just looked at your comment. But yeah, it's got like an orange sticker in the middle, with slightly, again, slightly different on the SDCC exclusive, but obviously matching the color and the tone of the artwork on that SDCC version. But yeah, really cool that. And there's the pin set again. Like I said, there's no change in the pins. They're all the same poses, same deco, and all that good stuff. So awesome. If you haven't got this, it's I mean, it's a fun set. It's a definitely a really good one to have as a if you're a cold Slither fan, which I know there are a lot of you out there. You absolute weirdos. No, to be honest, it's awesome. I would be, I'd be up for getting a set of these as well. Now, again, like link isn't in the description, but it's really should be. And I just want to also double check while we're here. I'll just quickly double check the price and all that good stuff. So it is £49. I must be on the UK version of the website right now. It must be aware of my location. I don't know what that is. I don't know what the dollars of that is, but 49 quid for that set. They've even got like a combo pin set as well with that, and then two other sets: the shipwreck, is that Firefly, shipwreck and Firefly, and the snake eyes with the pets was pretty cool for 94. That's neat, and the mouse pads as well, of course, mouse pads. Anyway, lovely stuff. And I think that is everything. They remind you of the Misfits from Gem, Aaron. Yeah, absolutely. It's very Misfitty. In actual fact, how good the crossover would that be? Gem, Misfits, and Cold Slither. That would be phenomenal. Like a Battle of the Bands sort of crossover. That would be so good. Rudy says, when is HasLab revealing this as a vehicle and figure set? Yeah, you mean the motorcycle rocket ship? Yeah, that actually would probably do really well, I'd imagine. Do we need a 6-inch keyboard guitar on second thought? Yeah, we do. I think we do. Mark says it converts to pounds GBP but won't ship to UK. That's weird. Didn't realize that. I don't know what it is in dollars, unfortunately. Someone else might be able to tell me. But effectively, the link is on our Facebook page and our Twitter page if you want to get in on that. Yeah, cool. Okay, that is all of the news then today that I've caught up with. I think there might be more stuff breaking or whatever, but I'll be more or less around for the majority of the day, so I will react to any news if as and when it appears. Let's do a quick transition for a sec, just so we can kind of bring the episode to a close. Yes, so thank you very much for joining me again. If you have done, obviously it's a bit early for our American friends. I totally understand that. So this has been more for the UK and the rest of the world, I think. But thanks very much for jumping on. If you have, and hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously, like I said, I've got lots more coming up. I'll be doing a PulseCon preview, very likely tomorrow. No weekly this week when I'll put out proper explanation. Well, an explanation. I'll put out a proper announcement for that on our socials. And but again, lots and lots of content to come. Loads of unboxings. I imagine lots of news, and like I said, a few other bits and pieces. Like I said, we've got the PulseCon preview. We've got Let's Talk Classified Jinx, which I'm still kind of working on at the moment, and whatever else I can think of. We've got to record the monthly soon. When am I going to be able to? When are we going to do that? Are we going to have enough time? I hope so. I'm going to have to check the calendar and see when we can squeeze that in. But yeah, that hopefully we can. I'm going to spend some time with friends again, as I have been since I got here, and family. And I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to obviously stay fresh cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force! See you later today.
That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force!